Hello there. Hi, everyone. Are you ready for some TLC? I am so delighted to have you guys join us once again for some TLC, some travel and lifestyle conversations. We are going to have a good show. We're going to have a great show. Oh, I'm Tamika Jones. I'm your host. I'm your host of TLC Travel and Lifestyle Conversations. Thank you for joining us. You guys are in for a treat. We are going to talk about all good things camping, outdoors, lifestyle, unity. It is important. And I'm so excited to welcome my special guest. He is the founder and president of Black Folks Camp 2. His name is Earl B. Hunter Jr. I am going to bring him in. We're going to do a countdown first and bring him on in. All right, we're back. Technical glitches, but we're going to still rock with it. Okay, I'm going to bring in Earl, the man of the hour, the man of the hour. Earl, let's bring him on in. Earl.
Hey, what's going on, Tamika? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm just sitting here in the motorhome, just having an amazing time and looking forward to an amazing conversation.
Absolutely. Enjoying the outdoors.
Absolutely, absolutely. The outdoors is
That
my home in a lot of different spaces, and it's my health and it's for my wealth. To be frank with you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you, Earl. So please tell people a little bit about yourself and then we'll jump into Black Folks Camp 2.
Yeah, so I tell folks, I'm a 45-year-old black male. I've been an executive for almost 10, 15 years. I've been an executive across certain totally different type of industries, whether it be sourcing industry, international sourcing, the mobile phone industry, and also now in the outdoor industry. I have hobbies just like everybody else. I tend to be a healthy individual. I'm married, 2 kids, amazing. I'm excited about life, and more than anything, my job right now is to remove fear, add knowledge, and invite more Black folks to camp and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle with any and everyone. And while we do that, we actually we create unity in the outdoors. And so that's
I
who I
love
am.
that. And we're going to be talking a lot about unity. And I got to make sure we have this banner up: Unity with Earl B. Hunter Jr.
Right on.
Again, this we're gonna have a great conversation. Now, let's talk about Black Folks Camp 2. How did you
Okay.
come up with how did you come up with the idea?
So I was about 4.5 years ago. I was probably one of the only Black executives in the RV industry, which is a $144 billion industry, and I had an opportunity to be the vice president of sales for a company that actually made campers. And
Mm-hmm.
being that I knew nothing about camping, nothing about RVing, I had no idea about camping. I wasn't going camping. I didn't go camping. Camping wasn't my thing. I tell folks I grew up in the bricks in Columbia, South Carolina, so camping wasn't something on my radar. However, I love to drive the business. I love building businesses. I love driving the businesses, and I love making money driving that. And so I latched on to a company, and again, the vice president of sales there. And the company, when I arrived there, the company was about $15,000 in revenue. They had done that for almost 10 years. And when I arrived, I took them to $17.5 million in 4 years. My
Wow.
job was to build a business, and we did that.
Mm-hmm.
But while doing that, though, about building that business, what I noticed is I was pretty much the token Black man in the RV industry. Every time there was a
Mm-hmm.
question about Black folks in the industry, everyone was coming to me, and I thought it was cool and all for the first 2 or 3 days. But then after that, I'm like, look, there are more Black folks out there that do camp, that would like to camp, and they should be in this industry. And
Right.
so I decided to leave that company and start Black Folks Camp 2 because I thought it was more important for me to get more Black folks in the outdoors so we can actually enjoy these 640 million acres of public lands that we all pay for. Also, that we can enjoy these beautiful campgrounds, so we can know that there are campgrounds that have Starbucks, campgrounds that are on the beach,
Right.
campgrounds that have water parks, motor homes, all these things. I
Right.
wanted folks to see these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just excited. This is a passion business for me. This is my legacy. I left a pretty lucrative position to start this company, and we're doing quite well, to be frank with you.
Wow. And so tell everybody when you started, because maybe to put into perspective, like you're
Absolutely.
doing quite well, but
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
Yeah. So October the 5th, I'm sorry, August 5th, 2019, there was an article that actually came out that was written on me, and it was stated Earl Hunter is shaking up the industry. And at that
Mm.
time, that article was written by RVIA magazine, which is the magazine which is the company that governs the RV industry. And what they saw was a young black male really excelling in the RV industry, which they probably hadn't seen as much, particularly in the executive. And
Mm-hmm.
so October the 27th, I decided to leave my post at the company that I was with, which is Sylvan Sport, and start Black Folks Camp 2. The October 10th, 2019 is when we launched the company on the stage of the Outdoor Economy Conference in Asheville, North Carolina. And to be quite frank with you, when I launched the company, there was about 640 folks in the room, 644 actually, and there
Uh-huh.
was 640 white folks. And the way I launched the company, I think that really threw people because I believed in what I was saying, and I'll tell you how I launched the company. I tell folks I
Please.
started off singing "The Change Gonna Come," and I said
Sam Cooke.
I was born by the river
Okay now.
in a little tent. Oh, just like the river I've been running, yeah, ever since. It's been a long, long, long time coming, and I know, change gonna come, yeah, 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 yeah. And I sang that song to folks to let them know that I was here to make a change, to help change the industry so that we would help remove fear, add knowledge, and invite more black folks to camp. And it's been received absolutely well because we're probably one of the most delightful companies in the world, to be frank with you.
Okay, so Earl, we got to let people know that song. That's by Sam Cooke. For
That's
those
Sam
of you
Cooke,
who
man.
weren't aware, Sam
Yeah,
Cooke right there. And we can talk about those vocals later,
yeah,
Earl.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm,
okay.
hey, I went to church 8 days a week,
Not eight.
8 days a week.
Okay, what was the eighth day?
It was going twice on Sunday.
Okay, I got.
Right.
I
Going twice
get
on
it.
Sunday.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's
So
funny, I talk about this. You talk about Sam Cooke, that song being a national anthem to a lot of black folks, particularly in the South, of some of the things that have happened to black folks in our lineage and our history. The outdoors is the same way. Although we're going to get into it and talk about some of the reasons why black folks hadn't been in the outdoors. But if you think about it, the song that I was singing, just think about those old churches that were down deep in the South where I'm from and areas in that particular space. We come from the outdoors. The outdoors is our space, and we've gotten away from that. And there's very reasons why we haven't been in the outdoors as much as we should. And we could talk about those things. I'll let you drive the program, but I got to tell you, the outdoors for black folks, I'm going to say this over and over and over again in this broadcast. Mm-hmm. We have to get in the outdoors more. We have to invite our children in the outdoors, and we have to take our folks in the outdoors. We have to really enjoy the outdoors for our health, because we're some of the black folks. We die from diabetes and heart disease every day at a very high level. And the outdoors is a place where we can control that. We can get that under control from a health perspective.
Well, we're going to get into that later about the health benefits. But you know what? It's help people understand why we need to get into the outdoors, why it's important. That's right. What, sometimes people, they want to know when you tell them something, okay, why should I buy this? Why should I buy into the outdoor lifestyle?
Right. Well, first of all, we have to understand why we're not in the outdoors, right? Black folks, right? The last statistic was we represent 0.8% of the folks who enjoy the outdoor lifestyle. And when I mean the outdoor lifestyle, I mean hiking, camping, boating, things of that nature. Particularly in camping, though, we have a lot of generational fear. Our company We're not a group or club. We're a company. We spent a ton of money last year getting a lot of data on why Black folks hadn't been in the outdoors. Now, I know why I hadn't been in the outdoors before I got into the industry. My great grandmother told my grandmother, told my mother, told me, don't go in the woods. That's what white folks do. You don't go in those woods, right? They also, in regards to the outdoors, there were some of the most heinous things in the world happen to Black folks, right, in the woods. Whether they've been lynchings or they've been KKK burning crosses. So you have people in your lineage telling you don't go in those woods where you don't go. The second thing is that we don't have a lot of knowledge. We don't know how to purchase RVs. We don't know what trailheads are. We don't know what hiking boots are, hiking stick. We don't know these things in regards to how to handle ourselves in the outdoors. We don't know any of those things. And the third thing is that we really never were invited by the industry. I know that because I was in the industry, right? We never spent money to invite Black folks and advertise to Black folks in the industry. And so I would be naive. You would be naive, Tamika, and also your followers and listeners would be naive if I said that all Black folks thought this way. Well, that can't be true, particularly with our name. It says Black Folks Camp 2, and 2 means also and as well. So we know Black folks camp. Our job is to get more Black folks to camp and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle with any and everyone, right?
And speaking of, and that's what I was going to say, you with those fears, the generational fears, and the, people purely just not being interested. How does your company encourage Black, brown, and minorities to say, hey, it's lifestyle, the outdoors lifestyle is great. Come enjoy it with us. What do you do to educate people? What do you do to educate people?
We are educated based. We are a company that we're built on education, right? We're not built on taking folks out camping, and we're not built on just taking groups out and showing people that. We do that from content perspective. We want folks to learn about the outdoors themselves. They can have the choice if they want to go out or not. We want to create and show folks what it looks like to be in the outdoors, whether it be backpacking, whether it be car camping, whether it be RVing, whether it be kayaking, canoeing. We want folks to see that as a way to get away and to enjoy the outdoors, but it also in a way that is conducive to the fact that we know that all Black folks are not going to like the outdoors. I just want Black folks to stop using the excuse that bugs are keeping them from the outdoors. And I know that's not a true statement, because I always tell folks is that if it was bugs keeping us in the outdoors, we're the cookout kings. We love cooking out and being in the outdoors. Those same mosquitoes that are in your backyard at the on your deck are the same mosquitoes that are in the woods, right? So the fear, a lot of Black folks don't even know the fears that they have about the outdoors. I hear this all the time, is that I don't want to go in the outdoors just because I don't want to go. Well, you're making a statement based on something you really hadn't delved into, and really don't know how amazing the outdoors is. Where I live, we have 250 waterfalls in a 2-mile radius. When I was growing up, the first thing my mother wanted for Christmas was a waterfall to plug in the wall, right? Well, she could have actually, right now, she can go outside of our front door and see these beautiful waterfalls that are not man-made, they're natural, right? These things that we have not experienced, that we must experience, mainly because if we don't experience it now, our children won't experience it. And the other thing is, you pay for 640 million acres of public land. You're just gonna let somebody else enjoy these vacations out in the woods for free, and you're paying for it? I mean, we spend $10,000, $20,000 going to Disney World, all these amazing water parks and things of that nature, and other folks are going into these woods and they're spending zero and they're enjoying the outdoors, period.
Wow. You know what? We're having some questions and comments come in, Earl.
Good.
And I actually there's a question that just came in, and I want to add that in to the show, making sure that we are engaging with viewers. So
this is a safe conversation, and I
absolutely it's safe.
I'm gonna say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it. I'm a leader in this industry. I'm a leader in this. I didn't just come about just all of a sudden. I've been around for a while. I've made a lot of money in this industry. I've given away a lot of money in this industry. I've helped a lot of groups. I want to see more Black folks in the outdoors, period.
And you know what? We also want to see more Black folks become leaders in the industry as
Absolutely.
well. And to
Absolutely.
this point, and to this question here, it says, how do we become part of the movement?
Well, you become a part of the movement by educating yourself about the outdoors. So here's the ticket. Here's the ticket right here. You know, folks always say this to me, Earl, let me get a seat at the table. I want to get a seat at the table. I want to get a part of this. You already have a seat at the table. You already own 640 million acres of public land. Your job now is to get educated and educate your family and your friends about the outdoors. And we're going to help educate you. When you go to our website and things of that nature, you read some of the articles and all those kind of beautiful things. One of the things that we have not done, we as Black folks, we sometimes we explore and we love on the outdoors, but we don't really take our friends. We don't invite our friends into the outdoors, and we take that no, we take that one no when they say they're not going, we take that no for an answer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that we have to educate our friends, we have to give them some knowledge. And the way you get a part of the movement is start going camping.
Mm-hmm.
Get some knowledge. Go to our
Well,
YouTube pages.
let me ask you this for, someone who's, I actually enjoy camping, but I lack that knowledge. And
Right.
maybe there's other viewers who have that same, lack of experience.
Understood.
How can someone actually get started? If I want to go on a trip to a mountain somewhere,
Right.
what can I do to get started? What resources does Black Folks Camp 2 offer to
Right.
help me start that search that's not discouraging, because sometimes it can be
It can
discouraging
be.
when you don't have the information.
Right. What has happened is that, first of all, let me just say this. The industry itself, the outdoor industry, is catered to white folks. It is catered to
Mhm.
white folks for a long, long time. You would see magazines with a 35 to 49-year-old ripped up white male be hanging off a cliff, right? Or you'll see white men, white females in kayaks and canoes. So the first thing is, it wasn't any representation. So we didn't even look at that as something that we wanted to do. Well,
Mhm.
the thing is that all of these things, particularly the activities, you can find those on our website. You can find car camping, RV camping, backpacking, yurt camping, cabin camping, all those things we lay out on our website. However, what we want to do is we want to walk you to that particular space, and then we want you to grab a hold of it and go on your own. What we can't do as a company, we can't take millions of people out in the outdoors. We can't do that. However, what we want folks to do is, what we turn to is the fact we're saying that Black folks, we're saying that white folks who love the outdoors, who are lifestylers, get your friends and invite them into the outdoors. You're going to have to latch on to some folks that know the outdoors. And there's some, and undoubtedly, there are not a lot of Black folks who are in the outdoors. I know that. So our job is to create that educational portal for you to learn. And we have some things that we put in place that we're probably going to talk about a little bit later in this conversation, that we put in place that we're going to ensure that Black folks know more about the outdoors. Just like you go online and search for everything else when you want to go on a vacation, you can
Right.
search online to go camping. Right?
I get
But
it.
that's not what's keeping us from going camping.
Uh-huh.
The searching part is not keeping us from going camping. It's the fact that we have a lot of fears, right? We have
Right.
fears of white folks in the outdoors. We have fears of the legends that our great grandparents have told us. We have fears of animals. We have fears of not being able to do the things that we see other folks are doing. We have all those fears, and once we get over those fears, and that comes with educating yourself. Education is powerful, and we have something in place that we actually launched yesterday that is extraordinary for us, extraordinary for a company, and extraordinary for the folks out in the outdoors. All right.
Well, before you go there, because I know this, um, you know what? I actually really did just lose my train of thought. But I'm going to go back because we have some more comments. We have some people that are engaging. Uh, um, this is a good question that came across, and let me put this out here just a second, Earl. The question is, what about RVing?
I love RVing. I'm in an RV right now. I'm in a motorhome right now. But here's the thing: most Black folks don't know, because they've never gone on RV lots, that they can own an RV just like they can own a car. You buy an RV just like you buy a car, right? If you look behind me, I'm in a motorhome right now. I can drive this thing anywhere. Well, you can finance an RV just like you finance a car. But you don't know that unless you go to the RV dealership, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the RV dealership won't know that we want to buy RVs because they haven't invited us to buy RVs. And our job is to share the data with them to say, listen, don't you want black folks' money? Don't you want our dollars? Their thought process is that we didn't have any money, right? We didn't have the money to own RVs. That's what they thought. Well, we do. We just don't know the route in how to finance or how to purchase the RVs for the most part. Because we believe, honestly, we believe RVing is the best barrier, it's the easiest barrier entry for black folks. Well, we just started really buying homes in the late 70s, early 80s in that particular space at a large amount. So we're not just going to go from our comfy bed to a tent, right? We're going to go to an RV that has 2-3 beds in it, and you can actually have a kitchen and a stove and all those things and be comfortable, particularly away from elements, right?
Do you find yourself asking, or, besides just when you're in conversation with your peers in the outdoors industry, whether before you started Black Folks Too and currently, do you just find yourself in conversation saying, Black folks camp too? Like, we do. Besides creating the movement to encourage more Black people more Black and brown and minorities to camp and engage in outdoor activities, don't you just say, well, Black folks camp too?
Yeah, I do all the time. That's why our company name is so unique and so amazing. Yeah. It's a true statement. Like, we've had white folks say, what you mean Black folks camp too? I see, or I hear this part. Well, I see Black folks camping all the time. What are you doing? I said Black folks camp too. Too means also and as well. Or we'll hear Black folks say, man, I camp all the time, man. What do you mean? Well, I'm saying Black folks camp too. People get so caught up in our name and they read the first word Black and it that word now, you say something Black or put color in front of race in front of anything, it throws folks off, particularly the word Black, right? And so what we say to folks is this: Black folks have camp, Black folks will camp, Black folks camp, period. Our job is to share with the industry and other lifestylers that we want to encourage more Black folks to camp and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle with any and everyone. We're not building a segregated environment. We don't just encourage Black folks just to go camping with Black folks. We encourage Black folks to go camping with any and everybody, right? Because if you think about it, if you think about the industry being 97% white, you're going to see white folks in the outdoors, period. You're going to see this. And so if you know you're going to see these things, you may as well get equipped and get acclimated. And really what I say to the lifestylers who are pretty much white folks, invite your Black friends to enjoy the outdoors. And if you don't have any Black friends, this is the greatest time in America for you to find some Black friends, right?
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Black or brown people, Black folks, minorities are afraid to camp with white folks, as you would say? I mean, we're around people of different backgrounds on a regular basis. Black people are, brown people are.
And I know that. I mean, we have data to prove that, right? We have data to prove that the ancestors have told their children, do not go in those woods. That is for white folks, right? Just because they're having a good time and in the office and things of that nature, you got telephones, right? And so you feel safe in that particular environment. But you don't feel safe in the environment you don't know. When you don't know the woods, you have to trust someone, right? You have to trust someone. And we've seen in so much data that, Black folks and white folks will go together to the movies, go to the bar, go to the park, go everywhere. But when it comes to the outdoors, it's kind of like one of those deals like, nah, I ain't doing that with you. And it's because we don't know enough about the outdoors. And when we don't know enough about the outdoors, it's hard to trust someone that maybe even looks like us or don't look like us. Hell, Black folks don't trust Black folks to take them in the outdoors. That's a struggle, right? And so I'm telling you, I believe this. It's all knowledge. We have to get educated. Once we educate ourselves on how amazing the outdoors is, we'll go and we'll enjoy it. And there are a ton of Black folks camping. Ton of us.
And I do believe knowledge is power. We have another comment that I want to incorporate here. It's not a question, but a comment that I feel like is valid. And Jasmine says, I used to camp when I was a child, but haven't had the opportunity as an adult because it's not common in our neighborhood.
That's good.
So
We
that's
have
good. And
data
it's
for
not
that too.
that there, that's not knowledge. That's just, looking the commonalities around the neighborhood
Yeah.
and in your space.
Yeah. Well,
What do you
one of
say
the
to
things,
that?
one of the things is, and that's I tell folks all the time, we have a lot of data where we have black folks who were young and they were in the Boy Scouts and then the Girl Scouts, and their parents just really just told them to go in the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts to get them culture, right? Well, their parents were, but if you look at the other kids that didn't look like black kids, the other parents were involved in the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. They were going on the trips and enjoying the trips. What I feel like is that, as a youngsters, what happens is that you go because of curiosity. You don't go anymore because your parents weren't really involved, and you don't go anymore because it wasn't something cultural that you did all the time, right? And so, I hear so many adults say that I used to go camping when I was young, particularly black folks. I went when I was young, it was cool. But when it comes to the South,
Yeah, that was me.
right? But when it comes to the South, I don't hear many black folks talk about them going camping, right? But we know they do. We know they have, right? Our
Yeah.
job, again, is to educate more black folks to take them camping and enjoy the outdoors with any and everyone. That's our job. Our job is to encourage folks and empower them to get educated. And we're not just
Okay.
telling you to get educated. We want to educate you.
And well, speaking of education, we have a question here from Janelle. She says, what are some campsites he would recommend in Georgia?
I recommend all campsites in Georgia,
Okay.
right? And the reason why I recommend all campsites in Georgia is because one of the things is that we we have wherever you're gonna go, wherever campsite you're going to experience a lot of different things. You're gonna what I've known about camping. My family and I are going to campgrounds. It'd be 1,300 campsites, which if you time that by 4 people, you're looking at probably over 5,000 people at a campsite, and we be the only black family, right? I didn't feel any kind of way at all. But I'm a little bit different though. I go talk to everybody. When folks stare at me, I didn't think they were staring at me because they were racist or mad. I thought they were staring at me because they'd never seen me. They never seen people that look like me. And so what I don't want to do is I want to tell folks that every campground in Georgia is amazing. I want you to go explore that. But if you're asking me to give you a specific campground, I always say explore your state campgrounds. State
Repeat that
campgrounds,
again. Repeat that again.
state park campgrounds, Georgia state
Okay.
park campgrounds, North Carolina park state campgrounds, South Carolina, they have a lot of amenities, a ton of amenities. But there are also some resorts out there. And the reason why I won't name many of those resorts out there, because they don't pay us, right? They don't pay us to advertise for them, right?
Okay. Well, you know what? There are two things I want to discuss before we move on to our next big topic. Speaking of the launch that you had earlier this week, benefits, health benefits.
Absolutely.
That's one thing that you and I discussed, and I also shared. I want people to have a better understanding that there are health benefits to being in the outdoors.
Listen, just a walk in the park. Black folks, we die at a very high rate of diabetes and heart disease every day, right? We we don't eat well in regards to the food we eat. That's historic as well. The outdoors, what it will do for you, it'll get that vitamin D that you haven't had, right? It'll get you on a trail. If you don't want to go to a gym, you can just go walking in the outdoors. No one is telling you to go climb a mountain, but if you want to, it's there for you. As a matter of fact, I was in the RV industry, RV world. I like RVing, right? It's cool. However, I was just turned on 2 years ago to backpacking, and I
Yes.
love backpacking.
Yeah.
I
Let's talk
love going
about
to the mountain.
backpacking. Now, before back up a little bit, Earl, let
Yeah.
people know what backpacking
Yeah.
is.
So I'll tell you. So RVing, you drive the travel trailer of the RV, you park it and get out and have a good time. Backpacking is when you put all of your belongings, your tent, your food, everything that you have in a backpack, everything that you can carry 65, 70 pounds, and you put that in a backpack and put it on your back and you walk up the mountains 10, 20 miles. I love that. I'm a former athlete. And so I want to get that motion of you're going to have to go through something to get to something. The reason why I like backpacking, because it reminds me of life. When you get 3-4 miles up this mountain, trailing and walking up this mountain, and it's 6 miles in the entire trip, you got one or two things going to happen. You can either go 3 miles back to down, or you can go 3 more miles to see that beautiful lake or that balsam or whatever it is in the outdoors. That's why I love backpacking. I love pitching a tent out in the woods. I love that. But everybody, I know that's not the barrier of entry for them. I understand that. However, the barrier of entry for me was RVing. And once I got into RVing, I moved on to something more extreme. And that, to me, I tell folks all the time, backpacking saved my life, right? I had COVID in 2000 and early in 2020, and it almost took me out of here. But I remember while I was going through that for those 16 days of gruesome days when I didn't think I was going to live, I remember backpacking up this crazy big mountain and saying to myself, I can do this. When I was going through COVID, I was saying the same exact thing. I believe that the outdoors, it opened up my immune system. It made my immune system stronger. I backpacked over 200-300 miles. I was ready for that fight, right? And many of us, if we try to trail a hike of a mountain and feel that burn, and when we get on top, it's one of those woosah moments like I made it. We do that in our lives every day. We go through things in our lives. We have ups and downs, just like those mountains. You're gonna have some ups and downs, some valleys and things of that nature, but you're gonna have to get through it though. You have to get
you preaching now.
Other way. I mean, this is life though. And the mountains.
It is. Yeah.
And what I love again about the outdoors is that particularly when you go in the outdoors, you're going to have to trust folks. You're going to have to trust folks you're with and trust folks you don't even know. This is the thing that we have to understand what about the outdoors. And until we experience the outdoors in that manner, we have to experience in that manner. I just believe that.
You know, and one thing that you mentioned earlier is, you know, parks and recreations and getting out. Let's talk about some partnerships that Black Folks Camp 2 has established very recently.
Absolutely. Listen, I believe in education. Education is real. You cannot argue with education. You can't argue with getting more knowledge. Well, I believe that you just can't put Black folks on a billboard with a backpack and think that we're going to look at that and say, yeah, I want to go try to go backpacking. I don't think that's what we have to do. I think we have to start at the toenail of the elephant. So we started at the toenail of the elephant by partnering with an organization entitled Leave No Trace. Leave No Trace is an organization that governs the outdoors in regards to how to conserve and make sure that these beautiful lands that we are on, we enjoy, that they're clean and they're beautiful. Well, the first thing I think that for Black folks, the one thing that we should learn is to learn about the outdoors and why we should be there and why it's important to keep it amazing so we can go out and enjoy it. Well, we partner with Leave No Trace to help get more Black folks in the industry, right? So we have a project that's happening that we have a amazing Unity Blaze. The Unity
Blaze. Now let me go ahead and tell everybody that this Unity Blaze, you just launched this earlier this week. Go ahead and tell everybody about the Unity Blaze.
We've actually had the Unity Blaze for quite some time. It's the campfire in our logo, and it means treat everyone everywhere equally. So we have a program with Leave No Trace, which they have millions of followers, and just quite frankly with you, they're probably 97% of white, to be frank with you, right? Those followers, what we're saying to them is, we want you to purchase the amazing Unity Blaze, which means treat everyone everywhere equally. Show that Unity Blaze, stoke the blaze, and show Black folks, all folks, that you treat everyone everywhere equally, and to invite us in the outdoors. But what that's also doing when you purchase that Unity Blaze is that we're going to educate HBCU alumni and students. We're going to give them the opportunity. We're going to give them scholarships to learn about the outdoor lifestyle and learn about the outdoor industry. The outdoor industry is $880 billion, bigger than the pharmaceutical industry, bigger than the car industry. Yet Black folks, we're not in the industry. There are tons of $200,000 jobs in this industry. And what we're doing with the scholarship, these dollars, we're going to educate Black HBCU alumni and students to with these professional outdoor industry courses. We're going to get them educated about the outdoors. So when those jobs out there, you're qualified to go get that job and be amazing in the outdoors. But the only way we're going to know that we're qualified and amazing in the outdoors, we have to be afraid not to go in the outdoors. You can't sell or market or do things if you're not doing it yourself effectively. Secondly, what we're doing is with this particular this project will Leave No Trace is we're creating our digital education initiative. We believe things need to be culturally relevant. I like to see, when I'm on the trail, I like to sing, right? And we believe teaching folks about the outdoors in a manner that they can actually get it in their head and their mind based on what they know and what they see. The third thing is that, we're a company. We're not a 501c3. We're a for-profit company. We're not a nonprofit. We write checks to companies and to organizations out there that are getting more Black folks in the outdoors. And we want to continue to do that. And we're going to do that based on our criteria of driving unity in the outdoors. I want Black folks to feel empowered to get in the outdoors and be in the outdoors of any and everyone. So that project will Leave No Trace, which you can find that project if you go to lnt.org/UnityBlaze. If you click that, lnt.org/UnityBlaze, you will find exactly what we're doing. You can read it all. Because our job, we're going to educate some Black folks about the outdoors. That's as simple as that. That's who we are. That's what we're going to do.
What I want to do, I'm going to write that up and I'm going to pop that up on screen here shortly. You said lnt.org/UnityBlaze, right?
UnityBlaze.
Okay, so when you were putting up the blaze, it was a little blurry. So I want to show our viewers what it looks like. So let's show people here. This is exactly the Unity Blaze that Earl's talking about. Earl, go ahead and tell people a little bit more about it. And also that the money that's being raised or people purchasing this Unity Blaze, who it goes to support.
Well, so the Unity Blaze, we have companies out there, organizations out there that particularly the outdoor industry, they're saying, listen, we want to see more Black folks in the outdoors. The industry is not saying we don't want to see more Black folks in the outdoors. The reason why Black folks haven't been in the outdoors, or the industry really never marketed to us in the first place, because they didn't know how to. They didn't know that we didn't like the outdoors. So now that things have happened, particularly with COVID, particularly Mr. Floyd being killed, everybody now is saying, hey, how do we get more Black folks involved in the things that we haven't done? I tell folks that the outdoor industry is probably one of the most segregated industries in the world, right? Well, we can get folks around this campfire, which is in our logo, which is a Unity Blaze, which means treat everyone everywhere equally. That is a sign for the 97% of the folks who are in the outdoors that don't look like me. When they wear this Unity Blaze, when they have that patch or that sticker on their car, that's telling you and telling me, the people who may be afraid of them, we treat everyone everywhere equally, right? When you see, it's just like a fraternity or sorority. When you see somebody in a fraternity or sorority, which I'm not, I see the camaraderie. It's the same exact thing. We're just doing it in the outdoors. And that company, Leave No Trace, being one of the largest outdoor organizations in the world, they have been committed, and they said that they're going to drive to make sure that the Unity Blaze is the unity symbol in the outdoors. So when you see that campfire with those two Black wooden sticks down there, that comes from Black Folks Camp too, and that means treat everyone everywhere equally.
I want to ask this question to you, and I'm also going to ask it so we can engage with our viewers here. Here's the question. What does unity mean to you? Yeah. And that question is for you, Earl, but it's also for our viewers. So please answer the question. Give us some comments. Interact. Let us know, what does unity mean to you?
Yeah, let me just say what it means to me. I tell folks I grew up in the bricks, man. I grew up all Black everything, right? Everything. And I ended up going to an all-white college, which is in Appalachian State University first, and then, Georgia Military College first in Appalachian State. And what I found is that going to growing up where I grew up and then going to another area, I didn't have to change my stripes. I didn't have to change who I was to fit in with nobody. I didn't change my voice up. I am who I am, and that's who it is, what it is, right? With that being said, I found a lot of camaraderie at those schools I found camaraderie in my neighborhoods. I found camaraderie even in the industry where I was the only black male. I found that people believe some of the same things I believe. There were some people that didn't, and that's probably 20% of the people that didn't believe in what I did. They didn't like what I did and like me. But 80% of the people I've come in contact with, they actually believe the same things I believe. And to me, we can unify that way. Because if we don't unify, if we don't find a way to unify, we're going to find ourselves in a situation that we're going to be just divided. And I believe, particularly with the outdoors, black folks, we don't know enough about the outdoors just to go there willy-nilly on our own. We have to look at the folks out there who enjoy the outdoors more than anything. And we have to challenge our white friends, the ones that you said that you go to the bar with, you go work with. We have to challenge them to show us how amazing the outdoors is. And here's the beautiful thing about this, Tamika, and I need black folks to understand this. This is very important. Black folks don't need permission to go camping. We don't need permission to go in the outdoors. But it sure feels good to be invited by somebody who knows what they're doing. Whether you black, white, green, yellow, it doesn't matter. I want somebody to know what they're doing. And just so happens that there are more white folks who know what they're doing in the outdoors than black. And that is fact.
Well, I don't know if I can agree or disagree. I think that you're the one that's educated, because I don't have the knowledge that you have, just like many of us, which means that's probably why I don't camp as often. I'm not RVing. But I mean, I do have an interest in glamping.
Hey, yo, glamping. I'm glamping right now in this RV. This is called glamorous camping. Glamping. This is the other thing. Listen, you know, we when I talk about education in the outdoors, when we contact folks to get to get data, a lot of folks have said to me, Earl, man, I don't want to go out there and kill my own food. I'm like, bro, I take pork chops in the outdoors. I take steak. I take chicken, man. I have an amazing time in the outdoors. Man, I have old fashions in the outdoors, even when I'm backpacking. You know, I have some amazing cocktails. I mean, my music is popping. You know, I'm having a good time. You know, so this again, no one is telling you how to camp. I'm just telling you to get educated on the way that you want to camp. You may not want a backpack. I don't care. You may not want to glamp. You may not want to go to a yurt or to a cabin or to a hammock camping. I'm just encouraging and empowering more black folks to get in the outdoors, to camp and enjoy the outdoors with any and everyone. You shouldn't be afraid of anybody in the outdoors. You should want to go in the outdoors and enjoy these public lands just like everyone else is. 640 million acres of public land that we pay for every single day. That if we don't enjoy it, we're allowing other folks to enjoy that lifestyle on our dime. And I got to tell you something, man. I work hard for my money. I work hard for it, and I like to spend my money the way I want to spend it. And although these taxes that I'm paying to keep the outdoors amazing, you damn right I'm going to enjoy it every day, and I'm gonna make sure my children enjoy it, so they can grow up and teach their children to enjoy it.
Cheers to that.
Right on. Right on.
Cheers to that. Okay, this conversation is great. Yeah, where's the flask? I mean, look.
I don't know my flask.
Where's everybody? Leave some comments. We got some questions. We're going to keep moving on. This is a very, very good discussion. And I feel like, I mean, you mentioned something. I want to make sure. And this one, I was like, what is that? What is yurt camping?
So yurt camping is like, so yurts are just like cabins. They're very, very stabilized tents though. And it's so dope, by the way. They give you that tent feel, but they also give you that cabin feel. So it's a structural unit that has wood in it, but also has a fabric type walls. But they're dope. They're dope. And again, we can research everything else we want to do, right?
Right.
You type in YURT and you will be amazed. You'll be amazed.
Let me ask you this too. Why? I know. How do you make car camping sexy and inviting?
Well, when I say car camping means you just take everything in your car and then go set up a tent somewhere. That's what car camping means. Okay. Right? Okay. Everything in there. For instance, when we go car camping, I take my fryer with me just like I'm going to fry a turkey. Right?
Okay.
You take everything with you. Backpacking is when you when you take everything in your backpack and you just go out into the out in the back country.
Right.
RVing,
Right.
of course, you put everything in your car, in your truck, and now you just RVing. So when I say car camping, that's what I mean. I don't necessarily mean sleep in your car. However, you can, right?
Here's a good question. Well, at least it's a good question to me. Do you think you're finding more Black and brown and minorities camping because this new trend of glamping?
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
COVID has pushed us to the outdoors as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I said this to in a keynote a few months ago. I said, it's a shame that Black folks, we all the amusement parks were closed during COVID, all the bars were closed during COVID, the restaurants are closed during COVID, all the things that we enjoyed doing, churches were closed during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
everything was closed during COVID. However, the one thing that was open was the outdoors. Yet
Mm-hmm.
we didn't know anything about the outdoors, and so we were stuck at home dealing with that chaos. Well, y'all were stuck at home dealing with that chaos. I was out in the outdoors enjoying the outdoors. It's because I had knowledge of the outdoors. The
Mm-hmm.
outdoor industry boomed the last 2 years. I'm
Right.
talking about made tons of money, billions.
Right.
And we knew nothing really about that. And now though, we're really discovering the outdoors because of companies like myself. And there are other groups out there that have been doing this so much longer than I have in regards to getting Black folks in the outdoors. We just do it a different way. We just do it a different way.
Well, I want to bring up this banner to remind people that for more information and for education, that they can go to blackfolkscamp2.com to
Correct.
get the education and resources they need to start their
The journey.
journey and experience into that glamping for me.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm in a 40-foot motorhome right now. And when I get off this call with you, I'm about to drive into the house, park it, and get ready for an amazing weekend this weekend, so we can actually go and enjoy it, right?
I hear
But
you.
but at the same time, next week I'm gonna put on my backpack and go and backpack in Utah. You
Right.
know,
So you know what? We got a few more minutes. Let me ask. I just have a few more questions. And one of the questions is, well, not even questions. I really want viewers to know, and I want them to be aware that because of your amazing work of you and your team, Black Folks Camp 2 has recently received an honor. Can you
absolutely.
tell us more about that, please?
When I started this company, I didn't start this company to get rewards other than the comma and zeros and to get more Black folks in the outdoors. But we received an award based on our beliefs. We won the Conservation of the Year Award, Conservation Organization of the Year Award of North Carolina in the government award. What that award means is that we displayed and sharing the knowledge of how you conserve land better. And this is what I tell folks: if we get more young folks in the outdoors to enjoy the outdoors, not just allowing other folks to take our children in the outdoors, we learn the outdoors to take our own children in the outdoors. What's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen is that we're going to have more folks that are going to take care of the outdoors. And the more
Mm-hmm.
we take care of the outdoors, it helps for me to invite more Black folks or people that look like me to this very same place where I live. I live in an
Mm-hmm.
area with 250 waterfalls in a 2-mile radius. I mean, beautiful balls and mountains and things of that nature. I mean, but I want that to be around for my children, 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 children. In order to do that, we have to get more young folk involved so that then when it's time to vote for vote for the legislation to keep the outdoors amazing, they're around. And so the award was given to us because of that very same thing I just said. I mean, this is not rocket science. We need to get younger folks caring about the outdoors because those baby boomers, they don't have long now. They don't have long in the world.
Right.
And so the
And
baby
speaking
boomers
of
are the
North
ones who are really
Carolina,
taking care of the outdoors.
right. And speaking of North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, you partnered with a state park there, correct?
Yeah, we partner with North Carolina State Parks to help them not only drive Black folks into their state parks, but North Carolina's been amazing. I'm gonna be frank with you. North Carolina's been on this whole Juneteenth celebration deal well before anybody else did. And if you go to our website,
Mm-hmm.
you go to our YouTube channel, you will see an amazing story talking about Juneteenth. And I'll be frank with you, up until 2-3 years ago, I really didn't know anything about Juneteenth. It wasn't taught to me, and I was educated. I educated myself, and then we turned and did some amazing education with North Carolina State Parks. But don't let me leave this out now. I'm from South Carolina. And South Carolina state parks did the same thing. They brought us in to help educate Black folks about the outdoors and share with them and invite them to state parks. They had never done that before. And of course, I could have jumped on them and said, you know, you guys are horrible because you hadn't done this. I didn't call them out. I called them in so that we can start to do this, because all I care about is getting Black folks in the outdoors. I don't care about making these folks feel bad. I want Black folks in the outdoors. And however we can do that, I want to do that.
Well, let me ask you this, because I think that, you know, I mean, I'm Black and I enjoy fun and entertainment. And what you're saying is that we can also, including myself, can get that outdoors. So I can see some people thinking about, well, what about the lions and tigers and bears? Oh my.
Well, of course. I mean, hell, you ain't gonna see no lions over here in America in the outdoors.
You know,
the
bears.
But you know what? This is the thing. I don't like to sugarcoat this either. I was in Montana just a few days ago, backpacking, and we saw some mountain goats, right? And we saw a bear, and I thought it was cool. Here's the thing, though. If you know about bears, where I live, bears in my front yard. Them bears don't want me. They want that trash in the yard, right?
Okay.
If you educate yourself about bears and understand what they do and who they are, it's because we don't know, right? We don't know these things. You know, I tell folks, man, there's some bears on the streets where I'm from. Meaning there's some folks out there do some harmful things to me, right? I'd rather be in the outdoors, right? I'd rather be enjoying myself in the outdoors, to be frank with you.
Well, I have to say this conversation is definitely, you're convincing some people out there. Earl, here's a comment from Bertha. And she said, this is very informative, makes me want to start camping.
Listen,
to be honest, Earl, to be honest, yeah, Bertha's my mother.
Bertha, enjoy yourself. Take yourself out. Listen, there are other barriers and entries out there too. You know, you don't have to go out and purchase you an RV right away. You can rent you an RV. You know, you can rent you an RV if that's something that you want to do. All I'm saying is, stop. Let's not limit ourselves to just activities that we are used to. You know, let's allow ourselves to get educated about something that we have not been necessarily prone to do and get started. More than anything, we need to get our children in the outdoors. We need to, I always tell folks, stop allowing other folks to take your children in the outdoors. You take your own children in the outdoors. Take your children in the outdoors. You learn about the outdoors, right? I'm a big component on that. I'll allow my son, my daughter to go in the outdoors with folks, but you better believe I'm gonna know about it too.
Right.
I want to know where my children are going, when they're going, and I want them to return. And I want those. I can always say I'm not letting my children go in the outdoors, but it's easy for me to say I want my children to go in the outdoors because I've educated myself about the outdoors.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. So this may be my final question.
Okay.
And then, you know what? I'm not going to let you go without another tune. I think you're going to have to sing us out of the program.
I got one for you, too.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So here's the question. What do you love the most about traveling and exploring the outdoors?
You know, my son and I, when he was 7 years old, my son and I took a trip around the country. We camped for almost 3 months, 49 campgrounds in 20 states.
Wow.
We saw one Black family. And that's why our Black Folks Camp 2 was derived for the most part.
Okay.
And what I loved about that, I love as a Black man who grew up without a father, I love enjoying that time with my son. I love enjoying that time with my daughter. I love teaching them about the outdoors and showing them how amazing the outdoors is. But what I love most about the outdoors is that I don't know about anybody else. I love to see what God has made. I love to see the sculpture and how things were there and how amazing they are. I love the fresh air. I love to take those nature baths. And nature baths are when the wind is flowing through your face. And when you feel that sunrise or see the sunset or see the sunrise, you know, being able to do that in a way that I'm not in a chaos environment, right? The outdoors is freedom. That's what we have to understand. The outdoors is freedom. And you
Mm-hmm.
won't experience any other type of freedom. Music can't give it to you. Comedy can't give it to you. Conversation can't give it to you. But the outdoors will give you freedom if you only educate yourself and start to explore.
Earl, I have to say that, and this is a pun intended, you are sparking a movement. Literally, you're
Well,
sparking a movement. And I would say it's not just about educating Black and Brown people, minorities about the outdoors and camping, but also unity
absolutely.
and unity in the outdoors. And that's what's important, especially with the climate that we are living
Absolutely.
in right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um,
I
it's vital.
believe this. I believe that we're going to have unity. I believe that's the only way we're going to survive. We already know what division does.
Hmm.
We already know what that does. So why not try something different? Right? Let's try
Right.
something different. Look, I'm no politician. I don't get into politics. I don't do all that. I speak straight from the tongue. Listen, I know some folks out there that don't look like me who love me. Right?
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, I named my daughter after a man that don't look like me who taught me how to read. Right?
Mm.
And so what I'm telling folks is that I'm not telling you who to go camp with. I'm not telling you you should go camp with white folks. I'm not saying you should go camp with black folks. I'm saying, listen, don't be afraid to go camping with anyone. Go out and enjoy your life. And while you do that, sit around the campfire and have some conversation. And I can guarantee you're going to find out you have more sames than you have differences.
What's your daughter's name?
Her name is Fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Right?
Wow.
The man,
Wow.
his name was Marion Cooper Fuzzy Thompson. And I named him
Wow.
after him, you know? And so, I'm just excited. I'm a pretty blessed man. I tell folks all the time, I got problems just like everybody else. I got
Absolutely.
issues, I got triumphs, I got secrets, I got everything that everybody else has. However, I also have the outdoors too. And
I
I go
love
out in the
that.
outdoors and I sing and I get on the trail and I have an amazing time.
And on that note, because you have the outdoors, I have a little something here that I want to encourage people. Look what I got. Look what I got. Look what I
Woo! You got that Black Folks Camp 2 t-shirt. Right
got.
on. Oh,
So,
don't let me
I,
forget. Go to blackfolkscamp2.com and order your t-shirt.
well, what? That's what I'm trying to help you out
There you go.
with.
There
See,
you
you
go.
won't even let me be. You won't even let me run the program.
Well, hey, listen. I had to beat you to the punch, but go ahead. I'm just gonna be quiet for a minute. Take over.
Yes, everyone, please go to Black Folks Camp 2 to purchase your t-shirts, get your educational resources, and let's get outdoors. I think
Get
it's
outdoors.
important to get outdoors. And make that a part of our many different types of lifestyle, but outdoors could definitely be one of them. I want you to go ahead and tell one more time, Earl, about the Unity Blaze, so that way when
The
people
Unity
see
Blaze.
it
Listen.
and how they can purchase it.
Right. Right. Listen. When you see that Unity Blaze, that means that person is telling you. They're intentionally telling you they treat everyone everywhere equally. Right. And so, with that being said, we've linked up with Leave No Trace. And so you can go to L as in Larry, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom.org/Unity Blaze. Purchase your Unity Blaze. Those dollars are going to drive the business with HBCUs and other collegiate colleges out there, alumni and students. We're going to educate them. We're going to get them that professional outdoor industry degree that they so not necessarily desperately need, but they should want, so that when they get into the outdoor industry, they're now equipped to get those jobs and to also enjoy the lifestyle. Unity Blaze means
Well,
treat everyone
Earl,
everywhere equally.
I'm gonna let you carry that tune for us. I'm gonna
Well,
let you sing us out of this
I'm going to say
program.
this to everyone. When I wake up in the mornings, I do this every single morning, whether I'm going to hum it or sing it. There's a song that I always sing, and and normally I'm looking in the mirror. So when I wake up in the morning, and the sunlight hits my eyes, there's something what I want, and bears heavy on my mind. Oh, but when I look at you, bum, bum, ba-da, and the world's all right with me, yeah. Ooh. Oh, just one look at you, bum, bum, ba-da, and I know it's gonna be. You know it's gonna be, Mick? On a lovely
A lovely
day,
day, lovely day,
lovely day,
lovely day,
lovely
lovely
day.
day.
Woo.
Oh,
Listen,
Earl,
I want to thank you so much
thank
for having me
you.
on, though. I think
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And from this point forward, I will say it's going to be a lovely
it's gonna be a
day,
lovely day.
especially outdoors.
Right on.
Okay, everyone, again, this is Black Folks Camp 2, Earl B. Hunter Jr. He is the founder and president. Please support, please get your resources, get your t-shirt, your merchandise, get outdoors. Earl, before we go, I look like we got one more comment. Oh, okay. See, you're singing. Your singing is just captivating everybody. It's good.
Right
It's
on.
good.
Right on.
Okay. Well, on that note, Earl, I'm going to let everybody know that travel safely, live intentionally, and cherish every moment. That's
Absolutely.
TLC. It's been wonderful. Thank you all. Earl, thank you.
Right
And
on.
again, everybody, please go out and support. Put the banner up one more time. Black Folks Camp 2.
Hey, Tamika, I also, I tell folks, listen, I want you guys to have the most amazing day of your life. And I hope tomorrow is better.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, Earl. Thank you all for joining us. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Take care.